Good day, our dear listeners, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Sphere Rocket Podcast Network, where we bring you insightful conversations with the brightest minds in the business. I am your host, Sweet, and it feels good to be with you again, our dear listeners, and we have a very special guest today. She is she is an image specialist, political consultant, executive coach, and a wardrobe stylist. So please welcome to the show, Tiffany Aaron. Oh, I'm so sorry. Welcome to the show, Afya Evans.
Hello, sweet. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. So glad to be here.
Yeah, so glad to be here too, and thank you so much for accommodating our invite and showing up here in our podcast. Really excited to learn about your expertise and all about you today. And yeah, but before we dive right in your business, so I usually ask my guests, what is your favorite go-to meal or comfort food after a long day of talking to clients and doing business and all of those things.
Oh, wow. My go-to meal. Well, my go-to meal, that comfort food that I probably shouldn't have, is for sure pasta. I love pasta. I love pasta with, vegetables and spinach and just different things. So any pasta meal will probably do it for me. But not that great for you. So I probably will opt for something more healthy. But yeah, I love pasta.
Can totally relate to that. I'm a big pasta girl as well. I love anything pasta as well. And it is indeed a comfort food, like after a long day of work, that and it's easy to cook as well. So
True.
yeah. And yeah, so let's dive right in, Afia, in getting to know you, getting to know your business. So, first question is like, what is your business all about, and what sparked interest in you in starting this industry?
Absolutely. Well, as you mentioned earlier, I am an image consultant and a political consultant. And within those two things, I also do wardrobe styling and executive coaching. And essentially, what I do is I work with high powered, high profiled individuals. So, anyone who's in the media a lot, they do a lot of speaking engagements to help them show up as their very best self. So, we work on their wardrobe, we work on their communications, whether it's verbal or nonverbal communications, even their written communications and their social media accounts and things like that, so that they can show up, turn heads, blow minds, and change the lives of the clients and their target audiences every single time. And I've been doing that formally. So I've been doing it for much of my life anyway, but I started doing it as a business and wanted to monetize it around 2018. And I did that because that was a time when I had a medical scare and I had to have surgery. When I came out of the surgery, I lost tons of weight after that. And then it was like a reinvention, right? But then I said, there's so many women, particularly full figured women, who needed my help. And so I started working with them on their confidence, on learning how to eat properly, that kind of thing. But then they started asking me, well, I need help with my wardrobe. So I started helping them with their wardrobe. Then people who were not full figure started asking me, I need help with my wardrobe. So I started helping them doing wardrobe. And so essentially I said, okay, I probably need to make a pivot to helping people with their wardrobe. But then I wasn't bringing all of my 20 years of experience in government and national security that I had with my career before. So I decided, I bet I can do this for people running for office and politicians and people like that, because I know so much about the industry. And that's what I did. So now I do that for people in government, people in corporate arena, real estate agents, anyone who people who own their own business and do a lot of speaking engagements. So I do a lot of that so that they can show up as their best self. And that's how I got to where I am today.
That is so great. It's just really following your passion. That's what I can see. And there's just really one turning point in our lives that you will really push to do that passion and just monetize it. And if you're familiar with the concept of ikigai, you
Mm.
know. So
No,
it's like
no.
a Japanese concept where you do what you want, what the world needs, and basically you get also and monetize that skill or passion that you have. So
I've
it's like,
heard that. I think I maybe not under that name, but yes, that concept for sure. Hmm.
yeah, and I'm so happy that to hear lots of business owners having that the kind of like it's just really your passion. So it's like really not the it feels like you're not really working at
No,
all at
it's so much
the
fun
time.
actually. Too.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that is so great. So what would you think? Of course, right now, with it's actually very relevant right now, and if we could also tackle a little bit about that, that it's in the U.S. It's also like election season.
Absolutely,
So have
absolutely.
you? How is your business right now since it's in the season?
Yes, well, you're absolutely right. This is election season, but I will say that this kind of work that I do is important even in the off season, but it pops off as you can imagine in the election season. Um, there are a lot of things to consider because perception is number one. Right. A lot of times I get customers that say, oh, but this is my style. This is and great. And we like to incorporate their style and incorporate their personality. At the same time, though, you have to consider what your audience will perceive. And I think a lot of people miss that. And once they start working with me, they see, oh, okay, I see how it makes a difference. And it just puts them over the edge. And so I've, been working with people, both at the local level. I'm actually looking to expand into kind of the national level. And so, election season is always a great time to meet people and network and to build the business.
Yeah, and totally agree with that. And I have no doubts that you can, reach that national level. And yeah, and Afia, with the you mentioned that of course it's also relevant whether what season it is. You're like being an image consultant. So of course you're running your business, you're meeting with a lot of people, of course a lot there will be people who are helping you on the back end as well.
Mhm.
So talking about the virtual assistant, so being a lovely client of Sphere Rocket, of course, can you share to us a little bit of a backstory on how did you find out about Sphere Rocket, and what was that specific challenge that you were having that made you decide to get a virtual assistant?
Well, thank you for that. Listen, as a person who coaches other people, I also have coaches, right? If you're a leader, you have people that lead you. If you're a mentor, you should have people who mentor you. And working with one of my coaches, I was asking, listen, I feel like I'm doing so much and I don't have a lot of time to really put into being creative about the business. I'm spending so much time on the website, on the this, on the that. What can I do? And they mentioned a virtual assistant. At the time, kind of virtual assistants, at least here in the United States, were pretty costly. And so it's like if you didn't have the disposable or discretionary income to be able to afford that, then that was something that maybe was out of reach for you. But she suggested Sphere Rocket, and that she said they have great people working for them. They're reasonable, and you should be able to see kind of return on your investment with a Sphere Rocket. And so I signed up, and I had a chance to get a VA, and she's been great. She's been great.
Love that. Love that. And yeah, I totally agree with that. So, now that you have a virtual assistant, Afia, what do you think is like the biggest help that you have achieved or received in your business that, makes it worthwhile to have a virtual assistant?
Mhm. Well, yeah, as I said, just having more time to work in the creative space, to work in the kind of the executive level space where I'm meeting with people, I'm parsing out ideas, thinking about maybe investors, what's going to be my next move. I can spend more time on that and not as much time as a kind of technical, nitnoidy administrative things. And time is money, and so it's been very good for me.
Totally agree with that. As a person also in the creative space, I can understand how, having that freeing up your mental space to have more space for creativity, and your mind is relaxed, is more having more ideas and creative ideas that's popping in. And yeah, that's so great to hear, Afia. And now that
I would say also as an image consultant, you have to do a lot of kind of face-to-face networking so that and going to spaces and you don't have time to do all of that and all of these other things. So that was important for me.
I totally agree with that. And now, Afia, of course, for all of our listeners out there who are wanting to also achieve the level of success that you have right now, what is the number one piece of advice that you could give them?
Wow, the number one piece of advice. I would say the one thing that I found to be very helpful to me in this journey is self-awareness. That knowing when to pull back, knowing when to take a rest, knowing when to pivot, knowing what you can deal with and what you can't, what you can tolerate and what you can't, knowing what your values are. Being self-aware has, I think, helped me to avoid a lot of pitfalls as well as to make good decisions when it comes to my business. And then when I wasn't self-aware, the opposite happened. So just sit down with yourself to know yourself, understand what you really want, and then stay on that path. That would be my
Love
number
that.
one.
Love that. Yeah, it really boils down to ourselves first, for us to, achieve the level of success that we want from our day one right now. And yeah, so if people are reaching, before we proceed to our lightning round, what is the if our listeners want to reach out to you, what's the best way that they can contact you?
Sure, sure. So my website is www.afyaevans.com. So AFYAEVANS.com. Or they can just look up Afya Evans on Facebook, on Instagram, or on LinkedIn. And I am there in all those places.
Love that. All right. So, Afia, just stay there because after this commercial, we will be having our next segment called Lightning Round.
Absolutely.
Overwhelmed with work? Well, meet your new partner from Sphere Rocket VA. In just a click, get matched with a virtual assistant who handles all the tedious tasks. No in-person hiring, no extra office gear, just easy online help from our recruitment team. It's like having an extra pair of hands minus the hassle. So ready to relax and see your work done just like magic? Choose Sphere Rocket VA and visit us at www.sphererocketva.com.
Okay, and we're back still here with Afia, and it's time for our lightning round. So, Afia, lightning round are just quick and fun questions. So, you ready?
I'm ready.
Love that. Okay, so first question is, what is your favorite business book?
My favorite business book. Oh gosh, I don't know if I have a favorite. I don't know if I have a favorite, but I think one of the best that I've read that has been applicable to my industry is called Make It Rain. Um, I'm trying to think of the author right now, but she is amazing. But it's called Make It Rain, and it's all about how to get yourself out into media industry. So talking about some of the pitfalls that people fall into trying to do it. And it just was really helpful to me as I was starting my business. So that's one of my best. I mean, I've read, some of the other ones, The Alchemist and some of
Mhm.
these other ones, but those are my favorite. Well, I shouldn't say my favorite, but that's that's one of the ones that has helped me the most.
Beautiful. And the next one is, who is your favorite influencer or coach?
Wow. Well, I have so many coaches. So I don't know that I want to call a favorite coach, but I will say one of my most influential coaches has been Dr. Tracy Timberlake. She is a business coach. She does a phenomenal job. She's been doing it for many, many years now. And I've learned so much from her. My business has expanded um, exponentially since starting to work with her. Actually, she was one of the first coaches I started working with in 2018, and I'm still with her. I still do work with her, so she's phenomenal. So Dr. Tracy Timberlake is one of my favorite coaches. One of. I have several, but
Yeah, yeah, that's so lovely. And next one is, what is your favorite lead generation method?
my favorite, and I'm not sure if this is my most effective, but my favorite lead generation method, honestly, is meeting people face to face at particular events. Especially ones where I'm speaking or I'm featured. I get a lot of people that come up to me or they contact me through my social media or whatever after that. Um, yeah, so those are, I also, LinkedIn Sales Navigator is also great for generating leads and helping to do that. But I think I prefer the face to face and really getting to shake hands and talk to people.
That's amazing. And the next one is, what is your biggest goal for the rest of the 2024?
My biggest goal, again, as you mentioned earlier, this being an election year, my biggest goal is to help as many individuals who are running for office or who are affecting government in some kind of way show up as their very best through the end of the year. Yeah.
Lovely. And next one is, this is a little bit fun. Best Amazon purchase.
Oh my goodness, my best. There have been so many. You know what I'll say? Probably my mannequin. So I have mannequins that I take with me to my events and things like that. And it was a nice little amount, a good little purchase, but I'm able to style her in so many wonderful ways. So when I do engagements or I'm doing a trade show or something like that, it's always a draw to people, and they say, "What do you do?" Even if they don't even know what it's about. So that was what I would say one of my best purchases from Amazon.
That is so handy. Yeah. And you can get to show the people the styles that
Yeah, yeah. You
love
can't see her.
that.
She's back here behind me. You can't really see her, but yeah.
Love that. And lastly, what is one word to describe Sphere Rocket?
Sphere rocket. I would say for me, it is, well, this is kind of two words, so it's kind of a cheat, but um, it is well, I'll just use multiplier. Multiplier. Yeah.
Mm,
It will-
love
It's a
that.
force multiplier for me. I was gonna say force multiplier, but that's two words. So, but just a multiplier. Yeah, for me.
Love that. Love that. Okay, so that is it for this episode. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure being here.
Yeah, but before we close the episode, if you want to promote or mention anyone or give a shout out, I'm giving you the floor.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Well, to everyone who is listening, if you are someone who wants to take your public image to the next level, your speaking, your wardrobe, even the way you carry yourself, that is something that I would love to work with you. So please do reach out to me at www.afyaevans.com or at my social media at Afya Evans. And I'll be happy to talk to you, and we can set up a free complimentary session where we can talk about how I can help you more.
Love that. Thank you so much,
Thank
Afia. It's
you.
been lovely having you here in the
Me
podcast.
too.
And
Wonderful.
and I wish you continued success in your future
Thank you.
endeavors.
Thank you very much. You as well.
Thank you. And there you have it, friends. I hope you learned from this episode as much as I do. Don't forget to click that subscribe button and leave a comment of the biggest takeaway that you have in this episode. So, yeah, and until next time, again, my name is Sweet. Stay inspired and keep building those spheres of success. Bye.
Bye.